Hey there, I'm Anthony, and tonight we're going to be talking about a little game called Things and Rings. It's published by Allplay, designed by Peter Hayward, and this little game plays in about 20 minutes, 2 to 6 players. And I'll be honest, I don't think you've seen anything like it. Because in this game, what you're trying to do is place things into a Venn diagram. And as crazy as that sounds, this little box in this game is a lot of fun. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to jump into what you can find in the box. Then we're going to go through how the game plays, and I'll talk about it for a little bit. So buckle in, grab your favorite drink, and let's jump right in. All right then. So I'll be honest, I've opened this box before. It's my personal copy. So what you're going to see here is you're going to have a little rule sheet, whole bunch of cards. Now, I have some promo cards included in here because, like I said, this is my personal copy, but you're going to have a ton of these cards. And let me show you a little bit about what is on them. So most of these cards are going to say things on them, and they are literally going to be things. Milkshakes, mask, a bell, anything, rainbows, gargoyles, spiders. I mean, there is a huge stack of cards, and they all have a little drawing on them, reminiscent of children's storybooks from the 80s. And then you also have these cards that are the rings. And these rings have different stars on them that indicate the difficulty. 3 stars being difficult, 2 stars being medium, and 1 star being easy. But these are the different rings, and the rings have different attributes. And they're blue, red, and yellow cards for these different rings. And what you'll find here is there are also 3 different rings in the box. And these are strings that are red, yellow, and blue. And these are what we are going to create our Venn diagram out of. So you'll have these strings. You'll have the rule sheet. You'll have cards specifically for each ring. You will have a whole lot of things cards. And then you'll have a couple pieces of cardboard that you'll lay out for the different areas. There's a none area, and then context, word, and attribute. These are the different categories that each string is going to be. And what you'll see here is on the other side, it has an explanation. So this is the contents within the box. Lots of contents within this little box. So, I mean, those cards, as you saw earlier, they are jam-packed in here. You are getting a lot of content for this small box game. A couple little bags to put things into. So what we're going to do next is we are going to jump into how the game itself plays. Okay. So this is the general setup for Things and Rings. What you have is a Venn diagram that's created by overlapping these 3 different rings. They each have a little cardboard piece that says what the ring is about. So like, for example, words and things in this ring are word related. So the rule cards are about the spelling or the structure of the word. And that information is public knowledge. The red ring is the context, which meaning it's about the position or use of the object in society. And then the attribute, the blue ring, is about the physical properties of the object, like contains metal or has moving parts, things like that. So, knowing this, there is a knower and then there are finders in the game. The knower understands and knows what the different rule cards say. So, in the very beginning of the game, when they set up, they draw a card of five or a hand of five cards, and then they place three of them within the rings. So, being the knower, I know that mummy fits within only the yellow ring. A moose, however, fits within the yellow ring and the blue ring. And a comb, yeah, a comb could fit in the red ring, but not the other two. Then what the other players are doing is they are drawing a hand of five cards, and they are making guesses and placing their card within one of the rings. If the card is placed correctly, the knower says correct. But if it isn't, they move the card to where it belongs. And then the player would draw another card. The object of the game isn't necessarily to guess what these rings are, but the object of the game is to place all of the cards in your hand successfully into the rings. So, generally speaking, like this player might be like, okay, I have a nail. Is a nail... they might be like, okay, is a nail in blue and red? And being the knower could go, oh, let me take a look at what this rule was. Oh, that's not right. And then be like, okay, is, generally speaking, let's put that in none. And that's a section where it's saying it's not related to any of the objects in the rings. This player would then draw a card, and more items would be placed in there. So someone could be like, well, is a forest included all of them? And then the knower would be like, no, forest is just in the blue ring. And then someone could be like, well, how about a boombox? Is a boombox in the yellow ring? And again, the person would be like, no, I think a boombox is in none. And they'd continue playing as a number of different items would be placed. So, like, scissors could go here. An oboe would be up here. Grab some more cards, see where this went. And this one's actually kind of tough. There are a lot of cards that don't necessarily fit in. You'd have a lot of cards in this none section for this one. But I'm also maybe just grabbing the wrong cards. There's so many of them. We could throw a B down here. Oh, nope, not down here. It would be over here. That's where the fun part of this comes in. But an apple would be there. But an apple could also be here. And that might be a cool little thing. If we were playing and going through that might be one of the things that made it an interesting thing. A calculator would only be in this top red ring. And basically, as all these cards and guesses happen throughout the course of the game from different players, each player will start to get a sense of what do I think goes in each category. And then at the end, someone will have laid out all of their cards into the area. And then for bragging rights, they could guess what the different areas were. And in this particular instance, the blue ring were things that were alive. So alive items. Like, no, a mummy's not alive, but it could be like that could have been like, oh well, maybe, but I'd say that was dead. Um, but bees, forest, moose, and apple, things like that. The red one were things you expect to find at a school. So, an oboe, scissors, a calculator. That's why I said apple might be a fun guess. And then the word is items with exactly 5 letters. So, and that's where the trickiness can come in is this is about the word itself. This word is about the context where it can be found, and this is things specifically about the word themselves. And looking at that, nail, yeah, nail could maybe be in a school, but generally speaking, I was like, that's not really in context what something you would find in a school or expect to see around a school. If it were like specifically around like a garage or a workshop or something like that, I might do something like that. But that's how this game is played. You're trying to place your items correctly, and you can take turns with each player being the knower once. But generally speaking, there are a bunch of different words for the different rings. There are a ton of different thing word cards to place within the rings, and really you're just having fun trying to figure out where my cards go and where to put them. Okay. So that's generally the premise of Things and Rings. And I really like this game. The reason I like this game so much is because you're not the fun isn't trying to win. The fun of this game is playing the game. Because as you're playing, yes, games you try to win. But in this game, you almost stop caring about winning and start trying to just figure out what the rings mean. Because you can win this game just by placing your 5 cards correctly. You don't have to know what the rings actually mean. You can just try to gain a sense of where would this card go? Or do I just keep on throwing things into none and hope that that's where they go? Or something like that. But that's not the fun of it. The fun is you're trying to figure out, well, what's that ring really? And that's not how to win. The way to win is just place your cards correctly. But through the course of playing, people instinctively try to figure out what the rings are. And that's why it's so much fun and it's really unique. And I hate using the word unique when it comes to games because there is no unique game. But I haven't seen very many games like this, and it gives you a different feeling when you play it. So I think Peter Hayward did a great job there. I think All Play, great job publishing this. It makes you feel right in there in the doctor's children's books. So I really appreciate the aesthetics. I like how the game is played, and it's just a really fun experience. So I fully recommend Things and Rings, and I hope you enjoyed watching. This is Papa Anthony's Used Game Emporium, Valid Gaming episode. So I'll see you next time. Bye now.